Hey everyone, Amber here with DiamondClear Coat Tutorials. Today I'm going to be showing you the application process from the beginning on a Halloween tumbler that I'm starting on. This will just be a fine glitter cup that I'm going to bury and then figure out something to do with it. As you can see here, I have my diamond finish clear coat. I put press and seal around the can, and then under the lid you want to make sure that you put saran wrap or cling wrap to keep the lid from sealing to the can. Eventually the cling wrap will get holes in it and you'll want to swap that out so it doesn't make any direct metal contact. Another important thing is you want to make sure that you stir this well every time before working with it. If you're getting out a rather large amount to work with, you'll want to also stir that as you're working occasionally. If you don't stir this well before you start, you will wind up with a tacky finish. At that point, you'll just have to probably strip the cup and start over. So this process is pretty easy, especially when you're working with fine glitter or anything like that. As you can see here, I have my little measuring cup. I think I got out about 25 mils, and I didn't even end up using it all. I always like to put my lid right back on, at least to keep most of the air out while I'm working. For this process, I have little 1-inch high density foam brushes. I've tried using regular like Taklon brushes, but they are very hard to clean once you use this diamond finish on them, and they just never get back to their original state. I have actually several cups that I'm going to be applying this on. I usually like to try to have 4 to 5 cups to apply this on all at once. For this cup, it's just alcohol inks, and I already have a couple coats on it just to go ahead and seal that in. And then I have applied water slide. This is one of the first cups I'm doing with water slide, so it looks like it's gonna work pretty well. For these water slide decals, I've sprayed them with just a clear spray paint to seal them. Then I applied them and left them on the cup for, I want to say, probably 24 to 36 hours, just because I haven't had a chance to get back to this. I always like to start on the bottom of the cup. I apply my diamond finish clear to the bottom first, and then I like to go around either the top or the bottom of the cup. I go all the way around just so you don't have to try and get really close to it when you're going around the cup, because you want to try to get this on there fairly quickly. You do not want to overwork your brush. If you overwork it too much, you're going to end up with streaks. This cup, since this is the first layer over the water slide, I'm doing a very thin coat. If you put too much on, either vinyl, water slide, anything like that, and you put too much on to begin with, you're going to wind up having it seep under your decal. So you just want to do a very thin coat. As you can see there, I had a little spot where it didn't want to stick, so I had to go back over it a little bit. For this, I'm just mainly concerned about getting it on there, getting my first thin coat on to go ahead and seal this in. So you can see I've already went around the cup once, and I'm going to go around and just kind of look to see if there's any spots that I've missed. Once I get done going all the way around the cup with it, just kind of getting it on there, I will go all the way back around the cup and get off any excess with my brush. I like to flip the brush back and forth, because if you keep the brush on one side for too long, it'll build up the clear coat and start dripping off your brush and also dripping on the cup. So it helps if you just flip your brush back and forth as you're going all the way around the cup. As you can see here, I have some areas that it's not wanting to, it's leaving streaks, and that could just be because my clear coat's a little thicker than when you first open the can. It's not a big deal. You just go right back over it. when you're doing this, your first coats before while you're trying to build your coverage and bury your decals, you really don't have to be perfect in getting everything super smooth. For this, I'm going around and just kind of finding any spots where it didn't actually catch at all, and I just dab a little bit more on there and then brush it smooth. Once you get to your final layer, you'll want to be a little more vigilant in making sure that your coat is nice and smooth and there's no areas that it didn't catch. So you can see here I've got a couple little areas where I'm just dabbing a little bit more on and brushing it on. Again, I'm trying to not work this too much with my brush. If you work this too much with your brush, you end up with streaks. And you always want to make sure that you have a very thin coat of this on. If you put too much on, you're going to end up with micro bubbles, because when it tries to flash off, you're going to have basically have air trapped under, and it's going to create those bubbles as it tries to release. So as you can see here, I've got this one almost done. And like I said, this is just the very first coat to go over the decals and seal them on the cup. The next time that I apply the diamond finish over that cup, I will go a little bit, a tiny bit heavier on the clear coat, but I'm still going to make sure I brush everything off. This is another cup that I already have in process. This one already has, I believe, 2 layers of diamond finish clear on it. This glitter, I have 2 different layers of glitter. The first was done with the Fairy Magic adhesive, and I believe I used New Moon on this one. I had a white spray painted base and then applied purple alcohol inks just kind of randomly around the cup. Again, with these, I have this little wine tumbler. I just start at the bottom, and then I will go all the way around the bottom lip. And once, as you're working and you're going over more cups, and your brush is already saturated at this point, so it really doesn't take much when you're dipping your brush back into your diamond finish clear. So I put less and less on my brush each time. And then I will go around the bottom rim of the cup and then just go back and forth and get it on all the way around the cup. I'm not super careful about how much I'm putting on here. The most important thing is just getting on there quickly, because this does start setting pretty quick. Once I get it on all the way around, again, I go all the way around the cup and wipe off the excess. You only want to go around once to get your excess off, because if you, like I said it before, if you work your brush too much, you're more likely to wind up with streaks. But it is very important to make sure that you get all the excess off. You don't want any of this building up around the bottom, the top lip of the cup, because again, you're going to get your micro bubbles, and they're very hard to get rid of. Oftentimes, though, if you have like a glittered cup like this, when you get done with your cup, you can't even notice that they're there. So it's not necessarily the end of the world. This cup is already pretty much done. It was the diamond finish clear. Since this is still a slightly textured cup, it grabbed on a little bit better than the other cup that I had that was already pretty smooth. The last one that I'm going to be doing is the first step of the application process. This is just a 20-ounce skinny tumbler that was already white when I bought it, and I did a light sanding to it just to rough up the finish. Again, I start at the bottom, go all the way around, make sure that that's smooth, and then I will apply it all the way around the bottom of the cup. And like I said, the reason that you want to do this is so when you are going around the cup from top to bottom, you don't have to go all the way to the bottom or all the way to the top, because when you do that, that's when you tend to get drips inside the cup or drips over the bottom of the cup. So when you do it this way, you're also making sure that you get a coverage all the way up to the top rim of the cup. And it makes it a lot easier when you start going and applying your middle section. So with this, I'm going to be using this to apply my glitter. I just want to get this on there. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is all going to be covered by glitter. The only thing you want to make sure, again, is that you have a thin coat. Thin coats are your best friend with this product. Anytime you have a thick coat, you're going to run into issues and not be happy with your results. So this cup here, basically already got it covered, and now I will just go around and wipe off the excess again. Like I said, it'll take a little bit of getting used to, but you just want to flip your brush each time you make a new stroke down the cup to get the excess off, so that clear coat doesn't build up on your brush and start dripping down your cup. This is all a fairly quick process. I think I did all of these in maybe 15 minutes. A lot of it was just getting stuff prepped for applying my glitter. So now you can see here I've got this cup pretty much done. Doesn't have to be perfect. And for this, you want to make sure that your humidity is low. Anything under, I believe, 65% should be pretty good, but the lower the better, because that gives your clear coat time to flow out, and any streaks to basically smooth out. As you can see here, I'm going to be using black. It's Arabian Nights from Fairy Tale Glitter. And this is going to be a black, purple, and green ombre for Halloween. For my ombres, I always like to start at the bottom of the cup, get the bottom covered, and then I will do a thick band of whatever the bottom color is going to be around the whole bottom of the cup. Once I get done with that, I'll switch to this one. Since it's going to be a 3-color ombre, I'll switch to my top color that's going to be at the top of the cup next, which is going to be this radioactive green. So as you can see, I just threw a quick band on around the bottom of the cup, and now I'm ready to switch to my top color. I'm going to be using this radioactive green. It's from Sass & Crafts, another one of my favorite suppliers. Again, you want to go ahead and get your band around all the way around the top. And I like to do the top and bottom first, mainly because they tend to be the areas that dry the fastest, and they're also the areas that you're going to be working from to create your ombre. So now that I have my band all the way around, I'm going to hold the cup at a slight angle and start sprinkling on the glitter all the way around. And you just want to keep going until you have the glitter fall as far as you want it to down the cup. This cup I kept going around because I wanted it to go further and further down. As you can see, it's just a slight angle that you have to hold it at, and just sprinkle lightly as you're going around. So I'm just about done with that now. Now I'm going to go back to my bottom color, the black, and start doing the ombre for that. I didn't want to chance the black falling all the way down the cup to where the green was going to be, so I wanted to get the green on there first. In the middle, I'm going to do the purple, so that will cover up any of the black that might travel further up the cup than I want it to. But you can see here, just again, hold your cup at a slight angle and lightly sprinkle around the cup and let it kind of fall down the cup. It just takes a little bit of practice, and you want to try to go light with it to where you don't have it accidentally dump too much of it down your cup, and then you have a mess and you have to basically start over. So this is pretty much done with my ombre for the black and green. So now I'm going to add on my purple in the middle. Once everything dries, I'll be able to brush it off, and then you'll really see how the ombre
for the
looks.
purple, I'm using Royal Crown from Fairy Tale Glitters. And now you have the easiest part, which is just basically dumping your middle color on. It's not going to stick anywhere that your other colors already are, and you just want to get good coverage of your center, so you don't have any white spots showing or whatever your base color is. For this cup, I just wanted to go ahead and use a white cup right quick, so I didn't bother prepping it with any base colors. Once this is done, you'll want to let it dry for 2 to 4 hours depending on your humidity, and make sure that you brush off your excess. That's very important. If you don't, you're going to wind up with a big mess and likely have to strip your cup. So this cup is basically done, and I will post a picture when it's brushed off. This is another cup that I've been working on. I just kind of wanted to show a sneak peek of this one, as I have not done a complete chunky cup yet with Diamond Finish Clear, but this is going to be the first one. You can probably guess what this is going to turn into. This is, I forget the name of the glitter. I'll try to find it and post it in the comments. But it's very popular with the bee tumblers. This one's nice and smooth now. I need to add my vinyl and spray paint it, so hopefully I can share this one soon. If you have any questions, visit my Facebook group, Diamond Clear Coat Tutorials, and I'll be happy to help you out.